Because there's a lot of people that I've seen buy used phones off the internet and don't know what they're in for. They just think, oh, I'm going to buy an iPhone 7 Plus and everything's going to be fine. I'm going to go activate it. That's not the case. If you buy, say this iPhone 7 Plus, you just bought it off the internet, you just received it, maybe Craigslist, eBay or something like that. Okay, things you're going to want to know. Before you buy it, you're going to want to check the ESN. And if you have, say you have a Verizon account, you're going to want to buy a phone that's listed as Verizon or was on Verizon before that. This is actually a Sprint phone. This means that if it was on Sprint, you're going to have no issues activating it with Sprint. Now, if I think I'm going to just buy this in a Sprint and take it to my Verizon store, you're going to walk in there, they're going to tell you, this is not compatible with your service. Then you're screwed. Before all that happens, things you're going to want to know. You're going to want to check the ESN. When you turn this phone on for the first time, say you bought this phone, say you have no SIM card in there, you're going to have to go get a SIM card. That's one thing. Hit this little I button. A lot of people don't know this is here. This gives you your ESN, your MEID, your IMEI. You're going to read this number to, say if you're with Verizon, you're going to read it to them if this was a Verizon phone, and they will automatically tell you this is a clean ESN or it is a blocked ESN or frozen fraud list. Okay, there's another way to check this. You can go to a website. I'm just trying to throw in as much information for you guys as I can. You're going to type this in, http, whatever it is, /. I'm going to leave this on the screen for a second for you guys to get this. Put this on your internet browser. Yeah, you will come to this website right here. Sometimes these websites crash or they're down. There's swappa.com, which is currently down at the moment, but this one is working just fine right here. You would enter your ESN in here, which I'm going to do for it in there, or you can call your current carrier and ask them if it's compatible with your service. This is the number you need to tell you if it is compatible with your carrier before you make this big purchase. If you're going to meet them on Craigslist or Facebook Market or something, meet them at the Verizon store or something so you can make sure that everything is clean. If they're not going to meet you, and it's probably like a 35-40% chance that it's reported stolen or something, there's an issue with the phone. This one says clean ESN, ready to activate, obviously with Sprint because I know that, but also it tells you it's compatible with AT&T, Sprint, or T-Mobile, but it is not unlocked, so actually this is not even accurate. I know it's only compatible with Sprint, and the only way a phone could be unlocked if your previous person who activated that phone when they bought it brand new, had a contract, called their carrier and told them to unlock this phone because you're leaving the country, and then they would unlock it because by law they have to unlock it. Anyways, don't depend on a phone saying unlocked for it to work. It very rarely is fully unlocked. Usually it's intended for the service that it was on. Say if you're buying on eBay, it usually says Verizon Verizon iPhone 7 before you buy it. That's going to be for Verizon, and that's what you're going to want to buy is the service carrier that it says it's for and the service carrier that you currently have with your contract. This is how you eject your SIM card tray. You stick a little pin in this little tiny hole and the SIM card tray will eject. That's where your SIM card is. Some people assume there's no SIM card in their phone. Spot right there where there's a hole. I'll show you the SIM card tray real quick. There's a little hole there. You stick a little paper clip in there and it will eject the tray. If there's no SIM card in here, just to give you an example, and you just think you're going to use your phone for whatever, you cannot, with an iPhone, you cannot even get to the home screen. I'm going to show you guys what it says real quick. I purposely put the wrong SIM card into this phone, and I'm going to try to get to the home screen. And I'm going to show you guys what it does. I've put in my Wi-Fi password. And another thing is you must sign into a Wi-Fi in order to activate your service. See what this says? SIM not supported. So if you think you're going to buy a phone that's just going to work for your phone and it's not, you have Verizon and you bought a phone that was T-Mobile, this is what you're going to end up with and you're going to be screwed. And nobody can help you. Okay? So make sure you buy the correct carrier. I hate to keep saying that. Okay. Let me put the correct. Want to check is plug it into a charger. Make sure the phone gets the lightning bolt. That's very important because you're not going to be able to use your phone. Say somebody wanted to sell a broken phone on purpose to you and they knew that their phone stopped charging. Hey, let's sell it before it dies. They turn it off, meet up with you, turn it on, and you didn't check it. You get home, you're screwed. Okay, so that's another important thing you're going to want to check. I would check all your cameras and make sure that it goes to websites when you try to go on to Google or something like that. Maybe you can meet up at a McDonald's or something. But a good place to meet up is at, say if you have Verizon, meet up at the Verizon store. If those people will not meet you up, there's probably an issue with that phone. and they know you're going to find out, so they're not going to waste their time. What you're really going to want to make sure if it's been reset, that when you go connect to Wi-Fi and you try to get to the home screen, make sure you can get to the home screen. The most common thing that people do when they steal a phone is to sell it to somebody. You won't be able to get to the home screen because the phone, and this goes for Androids too, is gonna want your, if it was an Android, your Google account or your Gmail password. It'll say, please enter the Gmail password that was previously on this phone. Okay, for Apple iPhones, it'll say, please enter your iCloud that was used on this previous phone. And obviously the person selling to you doesn't know it. It's probably a stolen phone. So be very, very careful on purchasing that. Okay, so I'm trying to get to the home screen. I bought this phone used. I got to the home screen. Everything looks good so far. I can check my ESN this other way. You go to settings. Let me go back. Settings. Where are you? General. About phone. And then after about phone, you have your IMEI right here, and that's the number you're going to want to give to your service carrier to make sure it's clear. Because this is a Sprint, if I took it to the Sprint store and I gave them that number right there, that IMEI number, they would tell me whether this is compatible or not. Then you're good to buy it as far as being able to activate it. Okay, so another thing you're going to want to look for when say you're on your home screen and you go over here and it says sign into your iPhone, that's your iCloud section. If there's an iCloud account in here, that must be removed. And the only way to remove that is to, and don't buy the phone if it's not removed. Don't believe anything they're telling you. You're gonna want to go to, let me go back, General, go to General, and you're gonna scroll to the bottom. It says Reset, and there's a few options here. It says Reset all content and settings. That's what you're gonna want to push to reset this phone. If I hit erase now, it'll let me erase it. If you can't, if they have an iCloud on there and you go to erase, it's gonna want the iCloud password that was on this. And if you cannot reset it like that, don't buy it, because there is an iCloud account on this and they're not the original owner of the phone. So you must go through that process and make sure that it's not on there. The way to get your ESN, and a lot of people don't know this, I'm gonna leave this up there for you guys to see, is push star pound 06 pound on your dial pad. Watch what this is gonna do. Star pound 06 pound. There's your ESN right there. That's the number you want to give them. Also, it is on your SIM tray on all iPhones. Check all those things. Everything looks good so far. You're going to want to check that your camera is working. You have this right here. You're going to want to check your front camera. Everything looks good right there. You're going to want to check your camera and actually record something to make sure that the voice is hearing you. Hello, hello, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, stop that. We're going to play it. Hello, testing, testing. And we can hear everything just fine. Your speaker's good so far. You're almost ready to buy this phone. Everything seems okay. And you're going to check your internet. Just make sure that the thing goes, let's go to eBay or something. Oh, where are we going? We're going apple.com. Just make sure it connects to the internet. So everything looks good. It connected to the internet. This is a good phone to buy, so everything looks good. I've checked the camera. I've checked the charging port. I know there's not an iCloud account attached to it. There is no money owed on this phone. It's probably good to go. You're never 100% sure, but these are the main things you're going to want to look for before you buy a used phone. I made this video because I run a store, a cell phone store, and so many people get burned either off the internet, Craigslist, Facebook Market. It's just pretty bad, or they buy them on the street or buy them from a friend. So these are things you're going to want to look for before buying a used phone on an iPhone. So hopefully this video helped you out one way or another. Give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.